Now, I have spoken about your most notorious comment many times on the air, trying to correct the context. I'm so glad you're here, because you can do it better than me. What people bring up, and this happens all the time, is I will say, well, wait a minute, how can President Obama try to avoid responsibility for all the wreckage in our economy, in our lives, in the job situation? You say, well, the Republicans from day one, Mitch McConnell said, our only job here is to beat Barack Obama, to make him a one-term president. I said, that's not what the guy said. Can you explain this? Because this has to be something that bothers you even more than it bothers me.
Actually, I'm not too bothered by it. It didn't happen at the beginning of the administration. It happened after 2 years of watching this administration run us into the ground with spending and debt and Obamacare and all the rest. I said it in November and December of 10, after the November 10 election, in the context of what the political goal was, and my political goal was then and remains, to make Barack Obama a one-term president.
But that's political goal as opposed to legislative goal.
Precisely. And to put it further in context, on or about the same time I did that interview, I was negotiating with Vice President Biden an extension of the current tax rates for 2 more years, the so-called Bush tax cuts. And I also said in the same interview, but the election's a couple of years away, and the most important thing now is to try to accomplish things on a bipartisan basis, because the American people have given us divided government that would be good for the country. And we tried, the Speaker and I tried, all of 2011 to engage the President to get a result on the single biggest long-term issue we have, driving our debt and deficit, and that is to make the entitlement programs fit the demographics of our country. We couldn't get the president to do it. He was hiding under his desk. So he missed a great opportunity to be like Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton and use divided government to do important things.
Well, you say missed a great opportunity. There's an even greater opportunity right now. I mean, I've looked at the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office report, as to what happens if we fall off this fiscal cliff.
Yeah.
If the taxes on a typical American middle-class family go up more than $2,000 a year, if we have draconian cuts in our defense that make us vulnerable to our enemies, if all of this happens, we're back in recession. Everybody agrees. Yeah. Would you be willing to sit down, even at this late date, if President Obama called you on the phone and said, I'd like you and Speaker Boehner to come over, we've got to make a deal before the election. Would you do it?
Sure. I mean,
why won't he make that call?
Look, he is actually playing around, apparently, with the idea of letting everything happen. That's what I would call Thelma and Louise economics.
For people who haven't seen the movie, they drive off a cliff.
Yeah, for your listeners' edification, that's when Thelma and Louise decided to literally drive off a cliff. Now, the movie spared us from the carnage at the bottom of the cliff, but both the chairman of the Fed and the chairman of the Congressional Budget Office, who doesn't work for either side, has said that it would produce a recession. Obviously, we need to cut that spending in a different way. I don't want to cut a penny less than we promised the American people we would cut, but this is not the best way to do it. And we ought not to be. The other side of the fiscal cliff is letting everybody's taxes go up. You know, at the time, as I mentioned earlier, Michael, when Biden and I were negotiating the extension of the current tax rates 2 years ago, the president, I actually went to the signing ceremony. It was almost an out-of-body experience. He made a speech I could have made, saying the economy couldn't take raising taxes on anybody, and the economy is growing slower now than it was in December.
That's right. It's more vulnerable. It seems to be. I have a secret wish, Senator McConnell, that Governor Romney, when he gives his acceptance speech on Thursday night, should challenge the president to sit down, fix this thing, get an agreement like he did last time, and then you can go on and have the election. But really, the president right now is holding the American people hostage, what he accused you guys of doing, and he never did. And I think it's shameful. I don't think anything is shameful about the Honorable Mitch McConnell, Senior Senator from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thanks so much for joining us, Senator. I appreciate it. No, you have to run on.